the Emperor's New Groove executive producer, Don Hahn, and the voice of Kronk himself, Patrick Warburton.
Actually, the two of us could come over for birthday parties and come over to the house.
It's always fun for us, always. It's so awesome to be here at D23 and celebrating 25 years of the... Don, thank you for helping change my life, because getting to be a part of the Emperor's New Groove really was the most spectacular and wonderful experience I've had thus far in the biz. Being the Disney file that I am, to get to be a part of that film. So special to me. So thank you, sir.
We had help. We had a great team of animators. Mark Dindal, our director, Randy, our producer. So you grew up in Southern California, so Disneyland itself must have meant something to you, and just kind of the Disney movies and that kind of thing. What are your early kind of Disney memories that pulled you into the culture?
Oh, the magic from the very beginning. The Sword in the Stone, I remember, as the very first animated Disney picture I ever saw.
It's great.
Narrated by the great Sebastian Cabot. Yes.
Oh, it's so good. And you had a big family too, didn't you?
Quite a large family, yes. Three younger sisters. Yeah. We were only allowed to watch 2 shows every week: Little House on the Prairie and The Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah, it's a typical Southern California upbringing. So your first, I want to kind of track into Emperor's New Groove, but your earliest kind of acting jobs and that kind of thing were all over the map, sometimes literally, because you've done a little bit of modeling early in your career.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, we're all thinking about it. And you even did some movies early on in South Africa, and just all over the map.
Yes.
And one of the things you mentioned was that you had run into Eartha Kitt at some point in your life before we got to the stage and started recording Emperor's New Groove. Because when you record, we don't often record together.
Right.
A lot of times it's just solo, and then it's kind of a surprise to cut it all together. But you had a very interesting career before we got to that.
Well, that was very, very curious, Don. And by the way, we call print work, not modeling.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but it's very curious to me, because sometimes, it's just curious how in this universe art imitates life, because I didn't really work with Eartha on the film, yet I had worked with Eartha 10 years earlier in South Africa.
Wow.
On these, Canon films with her and Oliver Reed. And so I remember when I came back from Africa, Eartha Kitt was performing at the Roosevelt Hotel. I was only 22 years old. And I thought, I just had done a film with Miss Kitt. I'm gonna go watch her perform. So she was thrilled that I was there, and then she invited me up for tea afterwards. And then, so we were in her suite there, and she was sitting on one end of the couch, and I was on the other, and she was petting this white furry creature. To this day, I couldn't tell you if it was a dog or a cat, because it had hair all the way down its face. And she was going, "Darling, how are you?" And I just felt terribly strange and outclassed and uncomfortable. And after about 15 minutes, I just quickly exited the room.
You made the right choice.
Yes, but it's just so odd, because then when I saw The Emperor's New Groove and I saw Kronk and especially the dinner scene when Kronk, exits into the kitchen and Cusco's there with her, and he says, "He seems nice," and she goes, "He is," like that. And I just thought it's so odd that Kronk and Yzma were actually in real life sitting on a couch 10 years earlier, and so very, very strange.
It was meant to be.
Meant to be.
I remember when we brought you in for the first time, and we were searching for the character of Kronk. It wasn't even sure it was going to be in the movie, and we brought you in, and we put up a lot of drawings, some of which are up on the screen right now. And the next slide are some of the earliest drawings of Kronk and Yzma together, and I think those started to suggest what the character would be. Because Kronk isn't a villain necessarily. He's obviously a great cook, and obviously someone who's kind of a sidekick, but he has this really unusual relationship and a terrific six-pack. So what were you thinking when you came in that first day and met with us on the soundstage at Disney Studios?
Well, I desperately wanted this, and Disney's very secretive, as you know, about, so I didn't get a script. I only had 4 pages of a Kronk and an Yzma, and so not even sure what a Kronk is an ogre, a robot, but I could discern that he was a reticent henchman. Now, he could have sounded a little bit darker like this, it's a shame that we're going to miss that dessert that I had worked so hard on. But decided to make him sound a little bit sweeter like this. Brought him down here like that, and it's just a little bit goofier. And it was great that y'all, sort of responded to that. Because what I found, I feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is that, there's so many creators, everybody involved in a project like this, and there can be pages of a character description, but sometimes I don't think that you all know what a character sounds like until you hear perhaps what he sounds like. So that's what I always tell like voiceover artists, go in there really with something, make a choice so that they don't have to direct you. Be able to take direction, but show them perhaps something that they respond to.
Yeah, it's totally true, and you can imagine being an animator or a director and having you do that voice finally that has that little break in it. It's like the best day in your life because you know the animators will be able to pick that up and do something with it. And that's, I think, it really sealed the deal and made it something really special. Kronk, though, and I mentioned this just now, that wasn't always a lock in the movie in terms of being in the film, because there were a lot of people and some executives that just thought, well, he doesn't have a crucial part in the plot. And a lot of the writing had to prove that this character was worthy and that this character would be in the plot. And I don't know that you knew this was going on.
I did not know that was going on. I had no idea that I was fighting for my life.
Yes, we were fighting for you. And Dave,
I don't think Sting was.
Well, we can talk about Sting.
We went in a different direction.
Yeah.
Should I have said nothing?
No, listen, Sting is fantastic.
I love Sting.
We do.
I love him to death.
You also love Eddie Vedder.
I do. Eddie Vedder, that's my news. Knew we'd have Pearl Jam fans out here.
Yes.
Knew it.
Okay, back on the script. So you were on the stage and we were literally fighting, and Dave Reynolds, our writer, who's a comedy writer, he worked for Conan O'Brien, he got an Oscar nomination for Finding Nemo. He wrote this scene. He wrote a dinner scene. And that was going to be the proof. And we had the equivalent of a table read in the room, and we recorded you, and we started playing that for the executives and saying, God, if only they would buy this and it would work. And our cast was fantastic. I mean, look at these people. David Spade, who, again, you didn't record with, I don't think, on the spot. You worked with him a lot later. But so we cut that scene together. Here's a little clip of Patrick recording those many years ago, just kind of show you. I think the other thing in our favor was we were a B movie. I don't think anybody really paid a lot of attention to Emperor's New Groove. There were a lot of other movies, there were a lot of other distractions, and in the end, we had like a year to get it done, and people, it's like whatever you can do, try to get it done and make it a comedy. And I think in a funny way that really empowered everybody to just go off the tracks a little bit when it came to the writing. And then we were inspired by you guys. So that dinner scene I was talking about, do you remember recording that? Because we asked you to improv a lot. We asked you to talk about your culinary skills. We asked you to talk about spinach puffs. And those things were so odd for a Disney villain. Do you remember when you first read those sides and those pages? Like, what were you thinking that these guys were doing with my character?
I didn't find myself like confused or even curious. It was just, just dive right in,
Yeah,
whatever it is that gets put in front of you, just make it work, and have fun with it, yeah.
Oh, God. Well, it was a leap of faith, and thankfully it did work out. And one of the things we brought along today, which we're really happy to share, is Emperor's New Groove has had a lot of love lately. which you've heard today. The wall of sound from you guys is amazing. So for the first time in its history, we've restored the film and are putting it up on the big screen at the El Capitan in Los Angeles. And it hasn't ever had a restoration. I think people love it now, and I think thanks to you all and the fan base for this film, the studio is starting to see that it's a little belated treasure that we all have. So in the middle of November, the El Capitan is going to show this, and so we brought along a clip, and it's the restored dinner scene that was almost cut out of the movie, with a character that was almost cut out of the movie, and I just want to publicly apologize for all that.
We're good.
It's a cathartic moment. While I gather my thoughts.
I don't hold on to things.
You're so nice.
I just let them go.
Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to gather myself emotionally while we watch this restored version of the dinner scene from Emperor's New Groove. Here we go.
Eartha Kitt, David Spade. I think Davey is the most like his character in this.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. What does it feel like seeing that clip after a few years have gone by and hearing this reaction?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, listen, this is a film that really hit afterwards, right? Yeah. Not so much in theaters, but I think everybody, and growing up in DVDs and it's had just such a great life throughout the years there, so it's great to see the response and that everybody still, loves it, and that there are those growing to love the film now.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing a great thing right now. You're touring with your stand-up comedy. And I just want to talk about that because you must run into fans of your work from Family Guy, now a part of the Walt Disney family, which we love. You must run into people across the country because you've been touring for a while, which is a new thing for you, isn't it?
I do. Yes. I don't think we're ever going to have a Quagmire character in the park, but...
No. No. Well said.
Yeah. But we were talking about... Yeah. Well, there are different things that people respond to. But Kronk throughout the years, yes. I've signed more Kronk stuff than almost anything.
And you have many kids and many dogs, don't you? Tell us about your personal family, because I was on social media one day, as one does, and ran across this picture of you, and I just thought, what is this? What are you doing here?
Well, my son Talon just made us grandparents.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So he's about 7 months old now, and his name is FAMOUS Patrick Warburton. And so when he was only about a month old, he was at the house, and Talon wanted to do something with the boys, so he just had to pick the phone up, and then we just did this thing, kind of spur of the moment, and it was pretty well received.
Really well received. Let's take a look at it right now.
Those are my 3 boys right there. 2 of them are actors, and then the one who came in at the very end, Shane, is actually a pilot, and he seemed to steal the show. He's actually here tonight, my son Shane. Yes. Where is he? He's out here somewhere.
He's hiding out here somewhere.
Oh, okay, there we go. Shane, yeah. The moment you got discovered, Shane.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's so great to see you guys together, and obviously Kronk and Sons should be a Disney Plus program at some point in the future. We did work with Sting, who was a cool guy, and we changed this movie so much while we were making it, which is a topic for another day. But there was never really a Kronk song.
No.
Why is that?
You tell me.
Well,
I would have done it.
We always thought that you had your own theme music you carried with yourself all the time, that we wouldn't need a song for you, so we may have been wrong.
But we did do that, and I don't know, we're gonna shock, because I don't even know what to do right now. Are you asking me with your eyes to do this?
I'm not asking you anything. I was just curious because we had Sting recorded. No, it's okay. We had Sting do a number of things for the movie. It's going to be a long night, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Zootopia we're all looking forward to. Sting wrote a number of songs, and one of my favorites really is just the opening song of the movie, which we had Tom Jones sing, which is a whole other experience because we went to Las Vegas and recorded him because he had his show on in Las Vegas. And then we had to animate Irish dancers. And so we brought Irish dancers in to animate, and the things you do in the cartoon business are sometimes unspeakable. Listen, I think it's the end of a long day, and we need to end with some music. Yes. Would you like to sing anything, or do you want to just...
You know what? Let's bring out the pro.
Let's bring out a professional, ladies and gentlemen, unlike us. Before we do, let's have one last round of applause for Mr. Patrick Warburton.
Mr. Don Hahn.